Hi, I'm Alicia Curry, and I'm here to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain you with Audacious Confidence. Audacious Confidence is the unshakable belief in yourself that's so bold and so daring that you live your life without limits or restrictions. So join me on my show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence, so we can discover the unknown you. Call in to join the conversation at 888-565-1470. Let's get started. Hey. It's Alicia here, and let's get started. I just wanted to share with you one of my favorite quotes from Napoleon Hill, and he says that somewhere in your makeup lies the seeds of achievement, which, if aroused and put into action, would carry you to heights such as you may never have hoped to attain. Just as a master musician may cause the most beautiful strings of music to pour forth from the strings of a violin, so may you arouse the genius that lay asleep in your brain and cause it to drive you upward to whatever goal you may wish to achieve. So I'm here to talk about audacious confidence. And what audacious confidence is, it's that unshakable belief in yourself that's so bold and so daring that you live your lives without limits and restrictions, that you know you're an original with a secure sense of your own worth and value. I want to say thank you to everyone who's joining me today, those of you who are on Facebook joining me, those of you who are on the live stream. Thank you so much for the support and for joining me in. And on the second half of the show, we are going to have you call in if you have any comments or questions. I'd love to hear from you. And the number to call in is 888-565-1470, 888-565-1470. As we get started, I want to ask you if you feel those seeds of greatness stirring on the inside of you. If there's something that's buried deep inside that you know that there's more, but you're just afraid to step out and really achieve it. That's why I'm here. I'm here because I went through a journey myself over the last few years, and I had to step into my own audacious confidence to be more, do more, and have more, because I felt that stirring inside of me, and I just didn't know what to do. But I fancied myself an introvert. Yeah, I say fancy because I really wasn't, but I hid for a very long time, trying to be someone that I wasn't. I had an issue with my confidence level and my ability to be bold. And I would look at people and I would think, wow, I could do what they're doing. And in the same breath, I would say, but I couldn't possibly do that. You know, how could I possibly do that? I'm not as bold as them, or I can't take that kind of chance, or I can't take that kind of risk. And so I found within myself the ability to do it, and I stepped out, and I broke through a lot of different barriers. And over the course of this show, I want to share that with you, but I also want to hear about your experiences, and I want you to share with me some of the things that you're going through, and maybe together we can break through some barriers. So when I talk about confidence, what I want you to understand is confidence is not from the perspective of ego. You know, there's a big difference in confidence that kind of exudes from the inside of you, and someone who is very egotistical. So that's not what I'm talking about when I talk about audacious confidence. I'm not talking about pride, someone who's filled with pride or puffed up. I'm really talking about, that knowing that you got this, that you know that you can do something, and you are not afraid to step out and go do it. So I'm going to share a little bit of my story, because what it began for me was the question of, what do I really want? So I'm going to pose that question to you. What do you really, really want in this life? What do you want? And we're not even going to how do you get it or anything. You really need to sit down and define what it is you want, because in defining what you want, that is the first step in actually transforming where you are to getting to what you want, if that makes any sense. So, where I was back in, I think, 2012, and I was sitting down and I was thinking, what do I really want for my business? So, my business was called AC Beauty. It was an on site hair and makeup service. And I always felt that I I wanted my business to impact more people, and I wanted to be able to kind of bring beauty to the world. And doing makeup and hair one by one by one was not really creating the impact that I so desired. So, what did I really want? I did not want necessarily a whole lot more clients. I didn't want to be running around South Florida getting more clients, but I did want to have a greater impact. And I also wanted to work with people that valued and appreciated the work that I did, because I thought that the work that I did was was really, really good, you know? So I felt like my work was worthy enough to be compensated well for what I did. But I had a value issue myself. Within myself, I had a value issue. And so some of the things that I did was I would discount my services really, really easily. And that caused me to devalue myself. So let me tell you a couple stories. And I can laugh about it now, but when I was going through it, wasn't that funny. so, so wanting to be a high-end business, and knowing that I had the skill level and I had the talent to be a high-end business, but not having the value in myself to actually charge high-end prices. So how did I go about devaluing myself? Well, I was a little stuck. And I remember the lowest point of my career in my business, was when I was hired to do hair and makeup for this client, and she needed me to do 3 different appointments. And usually what I would charge for each appointment was $200. This is, you're going to laugh at this. This is how crazy it was. Because she booked 300 and she booked 3 appointments, and she gave me this really, 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 really heartbreaking story. I gave her the biggest discount I have ever given anyone. And so I basically charged her a third of what I would normally charge. Now, she lived an hour from where I lived. So I had to drive an hour, get to her house at 5 a.m. to do hair and makeup 3 times. 3 times, 3 different days. And on the last day that I went to do it, I had to do 3 different people that last day. And I did the whole appointment. Everybody looked amazing. Everybody was happy. I left that appointment. I got an hour away. I got almost home, and I had another event to go to. And I got a phone call. And she said, "Oh, no, I need you to come back because they saw like a shadow, because I did some contouring. They saw like a shadow on the side of her face, and they took a wet cloth and wiped off the makeup. And now I airbrushed her. And if you know anything about airbrush makeup, it's like when you paint a wall and then you wipe off a spot and then you try to repaint it, and it's never smooth. It never looks good again. So she wiped off a section of her cheek, and she wanted me to drive an hour back to fix it. And that was the lowest point of my career. I am not going to drive an hour back to fix that. I mean, it's already costing me to come do hair and makeup for you, and now I have to drive back? No, I'm not driving back. And at that point, I realized that something had to change, that I have to start valuing myself and my own services and be able to stand up for myself and what I do, because I wasn't going to impact anybody. I wasn't going to create anything of value by doing that. So I went ahead and I got a business coach because I figured I needed new branding. Again, I looked at everything on the surface. I looked at everything on the outside. Well, if I got better branding, if I got a better website, if I looked, more corporate, maybe then I can charge the prices that I think I deserve to charge. But what was happening was the value was still on the inside of me. I did not change my own concept of what I was worth. So that became my process. I had to value myself, and that's a part of your confidence. You have to first understand who you are, what you have to offer, and then value that. That becomes more precious than anything else. And you have to hold that value. You have to hold the value of what you have and what you have to offer. And don't let anybody try to make little of that. When I started charging prices that I believed that I was worth, I still got people that asked for discounts, and I still got people that didn't want to pay it and thought that it was too high. And the difference then was I knew that I had the choice to say no. I didn't have to take every client that came along, and I could say no. And there are people that will respect what I do and pay for what I do, and those that don't respect what I do, I don't have to work with. And that took me some time to get there. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk about audacious confidence. And some of my journey I wrote in this book. It's called Your Signature Style, Unlocking the Confidence, Style, and Influence of the Savvy CEO. And I went back. I had to go back into my childhood to discover where those things that happened, that I started to really devalue what I did and who I was, and rebuild my own sense of value from that. So if anyone out there is listening, thank you. And if you would like to call in, again, the number is 888-565-1470. So let's talk about what you want. What do you really want? Call in and let's have a conversation. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Hi, I'm Alicia Curry, and you know me from my radio show, Unleash Your Audacious Confidence with Alicia Curry. If you lack confidence and boldness to really go out there and conquer the world, I'm here to share this valuable resource. In my book, Your Signature Style, Unlocking the Confidence, Style, and Influence of the Savvy CEO, I'll take you through a process where you can release your fears and embrace your femininity as a powerful tool to unleash your audacious confidence and win. This is where it all began for me, and I want to share it with you. Get your copy today at acradio.live. Bring out your beauty and confidence from the inside out. Buy this book today at www.acradio.live.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own online business? Start your business now. It's fast, easy, and free. Just sign up at mylife.net. You'll get a free personal business coach who will support you every step of the way. We'll help you sell products and services from our amazing product line in 4 life-based categories that can make you money. Your free business also comes with all the tools you'll need to be successful. Take control of your life with My Life. Sign up now for free at mylife.net.
You're listening to Unleash Your Audacious Confidence with Alicia Curry. Now, let's get back to the show. Welcome back. So, We are live on the air here for Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. And I was talking, yes, I was talking about what is it you really want? So when I ask that question, what do you really want? I don't want you to think about, well, I want a bigger house, I want a car, let's go a little deeper. What do you want your life to be? Are you living the life that you dreamt you'd live? So when I was growing up, everyone called me a dreamer. And they didn't mean it in a flattering way. They said, you're a dreamer. And I always felt really, that really low that they were calling me a dreamer. And so now that I look back, I realize that I always was a dreamer because I always had a bigger vision for my life. I always had a bigger vision for my life, and I shrunk my vision to suit everyone around me. So I stopped doing that, by the way, now. So what do you dream about? What is holding you back from really achieving the things that you've dreamt about for your life? And really sit with yourself and figure out what it is you want out of this life. I want you to also ask yourself, what makes you feel alive? What are the things that really fuel your passion, that make you smile, that will make it worthwhile getting out of bed? Because those are the things that you really want out of life. And if you can find what that is, then we can start transforming where you are to where you want to be. The next step after you discover what you really, really want is to accept responsibility for where you are. Because not until you accept responsibility for where you are can you move beyond where you are. I remember taking a workshop, and they talked about the drama triangle. And I'd never heard of the drama triangle before, but I loved the analogy because the drama triangle, so many people are stuck in this drama triangle. And what it is, you know what a triangle looks like, right? This is a triangle. And so on one side of the triangle, there's the victim. On the other side of the triangle, there's the rescuer. And on the other side of the triangle is the perpetrator. And it's a vicious cycle. In order to be a victim, there has to be a perpetrator. And in order for you to be a rescuer, there has to be a victim. And a lot of times we fall on one of those, in one of those categories, whether we are conscious of it or not, whether we do it purposely or not, because sometimes you might just walk past someone and not say hi, and suddenly they take offense and you've become the perpetrator and they've become the victim. So, sometimes we do things unconsciously. But when you find yourself on that drama triangle, the best way to get off of it is to take responsibility for wherever you are or whatever's going on that drama triangle, and get yourself off of it. Because once you're in that cycle, it's really hard to get off of it. I know that I was a rescuer for a long time because I found myself with people around me that were always victims, that always had something going on in their life that they needed rescuing from. And I took it upon myself to be their rescuer. And so I got off that drama triangle because I took responsibility, and I thought, you know what? Why is everyone around me always needing something and always coming to me with everything? And when I made the decision and I said, you know what? That's because I set it up that way, and I'm not going to do that anymore. And I changed the dynamic of a lot of my friendships, and things began to flow a lot better in my life. So one of the things that I knew I didn't want, which is the reverse of what do you want, one of the things I didn't want was to be someone's rescuer all the time, because it frustrated me. And then I ended up complaining, and then I ended up being, frustrated and angry and lashing out. And so once I understood the drama triangle, and I said, you know what, I need to just keep myself off of that. So when people come to me with issues and situations, I choose not to be the rescuer. I choose to listen. I choose to support, but I'm not trying to fix anything for anyone. So when you start taking responsibility for where you are in life, because you are where you are because you put yourself there, when you start taking full responsibility for that, then you can see how you can change things for the better and actually start moving to a place of what you want. Again, the topic is audacious confidence. So everything I'm talking about here deals with your mindset, and it deals with changing or reconfiguring things in your mind so that you are not thinking the same way that you have thought, because thinking the way you've thought has gotten you to where you are. So you need a mind shift. You need to start thinking a little differently. And when it comes to confidence, a lot of times we feel that people are either born confident or they're not. And that's not true, because you can develop confidence. You can develop boldness. And I had to develop boldness. I had to develop confidence because I had convinced myself so well that I didn't have it, that I needed to find the tools to actually create it for myself. And so if you really, really want to have those tools and be able to create that confidence for yourself, stay tuned, because we're going to continue this conversation over the next few weeks. And I'm also going to have some guests that are experts in their industry that can help us to help bring some of those tools to life and help you develop the confidence that you're so desperately needing. I always wanted to do things in a big way. So when I was younger, one of my big dreams was I was actually like a closet actor. I always wanted to act. I always thought about acting, but again, I didn't think I had the necessary skill level. I didn't think I had the confidence to do it. I didn't think that I had. I didn't think that I could. And forget opportunity. There was zero opportunity for me to become an actor anywhere that I thought in my life. And once I started to actually build this confidence in myself, I didn't go out looking for anything. It actually came to me. Imagine that. You know, there are a lot of people talk about the law of attraction, but it really does, you really do create the opportunities for yourself. Because again, it was something that I always dreamt about, but nothing that I ever thought could ever possibly happen. And now, guess what? I am actually acting in a movie. You know, how did that happen? Again, I developed the confidence in myself. People saw something in me and asked me to do it, not knowing that I had that desire my whole entire life. So when you start building that confidence and you start stepping into it and you start really developing the skills and the gifts and the talents that you have that were placed on the inside of you to do great things. Remember I said in the opening with Napoleon Hill, somewhere in your makeup lies the seeds of achievement. I had those seeds buried deep inside of me. And the confidence was the water and the food that helped that seed germinate and grow and begin to blossom. And so you don't know where this confidence journey will take you. It's so remarkable and so amazing. And that's really what I want to share with people. I want to share the opportunity for you to start stepping into those amazing opportunities that you've probably dreamt your whole life, but not even known how they were going to come to you. Because once you start developing those skills, gifts, talents, those things that are resident on the inside of you, guess what? Those opportunities will start showing up for you, and you don't have to go chasing anything. It'll come to you. So, again, if you'd like to call in, the number is 888-565-1470. And I I want to talk about a third point. So I talked about discovering or really finding out what it is you really, really want. That's the first key in starting to build this confidence in yourself. And then the second key is accepting responsibility. You need to accept responsibility for where you are right now and who you are and where you are. Because again, I had to accept responsibility for the fact that I was discounting myself. Yeah, people were asking me for discounts, but I was the one that was actually giving the discount. I had to accept that responsibility. I had to accept the responsibility that I basically gave away my service to someone who didn't appreciate it and devalued myself. I had to accept that responsibility. It wasn't her fault. It was mine because I did it. So that was the second point. And the third one is your attitude. What is your attitude? Sometimes we are in a place in our lives that we're not happy about, we don't like it, and we have a bad attitude about it. It might be a job, it might be somewhere that you have to, a task that you have to perform, and you have a bad attitude. Well, that bad attitude is not going to get you what you want or where you want. I have my pastor, he always used to say that your attitude determines your altitude. And it's so true, because when you have a good attitude about things, your life and your world changes. And so I just want you to remember those three important things. And that is discover what you really want, take responsibility, and then look at your attitude. And if it needs changing, change your attitude. That's it for me today on Unleash Your Audacious Confidence. I'm Alicia Curry, and I will see you next time, next Monday. Be sure to tune in. Love you all. Thank you for joining me. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hi, have a great evening. A wise friend always says to me, we have a finite number of minutes to spend. And just like you can only spend $1 once, you can only spend 1 minute once. It's your choice. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing to spend some of your minutes with me on my show. I wish you love, health, and happiness to live your life with audacious confidence. I love you, and we'll see you next time.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.